about +1 projects, whether there's something that you raise your hand for or something that you're voluntold for, which we can probably all attest to that happening a time or two in our career, I think the first thing that comes to mind when we think about the benefit is it's really about gaining a new experience. So at the end of the day, when you're either asked to do something outside of your comfort zone or you raise your hand for it, it's really an opportunity to get experience in a new area outside of your normal 9 to 5, 8 to 6, 7 to 7, whatever your typical workday looks like, experience. I think the second benefit that comes to mind is truly providing exposure to other people for thinking about Pfizer within the organization beyond your day-to-day team. And so for me, when I think about networking, when I think about strategic connections, it's really those opportunities where I've stepped outside of my current day-to-day role and taken on the extra work that I've really been able to foster really not just broad connections, but deep connections. The benefit that comes to my mind is that, and I think this is probably my most favorite, is that it truly gives you an opportunity to sharpen your leadership skills and sharpen those project management skills. Because sometimes we get into the day-to-day, and once we've been doing a particular role for a little while, we know how to do it, we're masters at it. And so it's really when we take that extra assignment on that adds a little bit, probably more time to our day, but it really gives us a chance to kind of expand our leadership skills and our project management skills. And so when we find ourselves, bless you, when we find ourselves in those situations where we're taking on a +1 project, I want to just share very quick tips. And so the first one is to really look to be or either to provide a solution. I know I've had experiences in the past where I've just seen a need on my team or within my region and said, hey, it would be really good if we had a solution for that problem. So you can think about your team meeting that you sat in when people are complaining about something. Or I think the second tip is to be clear and consistent in discussing these aspirations with your manager. So particularly like in the conversation with my mentee, she was actually looking to advance within her organization. So she was looking for opportunities. I'm like, wait a minute. You have one. You may not have volunteered for it. Someone may have said, here, why don't you take this on? But it truly is an opportunity for you to really grow within your organization. And when you take the tip to speak up with your manager first, then they know what to look for. So when there's extra work across your team, they're like, oh yeah, I remember Brittany told me that she's really passionate about X, and so this is something that will fit her skill set. And the third and last tip is to truly seek feedback. And I say seek feedback around 3 areas. The first would be project readiness. So I think any really good hiring manager would tell you that you want to be really good, and I told my mentee this, you want to be great in your current role before you look to do additional things outside of that. And so I think it's a good sign. Sometimes when you're voluntold, just a slight perspective shift, when you're voluntold for an extra project, it's a good sign that, oh, your manager knows that you're handling what your regular tasks are, what your day-to-day is. I think the second area to seek feedback around is the setup. So as you're kind of building the project, putting the pieces together, get feedback from the workstream team, get feedback from your manager, even maybe get feedback from people that were presenting the problem, right? So that you can make sure you're setting it up to truly be a solution that people can move forward with. And then the last, and again, my favorite if I were thinking about tips, is seek feedback in the follow through. So once you finish the project, it's done, go back to those people that you worked with and say, hey, is there an area maybe that I can work on with regards to my leadership or maybe how I manage the project? Give me some feedback so that the next time this opportunity comes around, I know how to move forward.